Good day, everyone. This is Rana A. Magsakay, and today I'll be discussing my project in FMA2 Part 2, which is the evaluation of Project Tabang. For this evaluation, I'll be using the framework which is the Smart CCBMS. The Smart CCBMS was already discussed in my FMA2 Part 1 project. Let's now start the evaluation. The first component of the framework is the goal clarity. For Project Tabang, the goal and the objective of this project is to help the Bangsamoro people, which is tulong alay sa Bangsamorong nangangailangan. For this component, I'll rate it as number 5 because the component or the objective of this project is very clear. If I am a Bangsamoro people or is anyone will heard about the Project Tabang and they heard or they read this project and says that tulong alay sa Bangsamorong nangangailangan, is direct to the point, very clear that you will know the reason or the objective of this project is to help the Bangsamoro people. And with that, rating 5 for the evaluation. The next component is the target audience. For the Project Tabang, it's also clear that the target audience or the stakeholders of this program are the Bangsamoro people, which is the low-income earners families, the vulnerable group, the Bangsamoro public people, which is the person with disabilities, the senior citizen, and the other who is the calamity victims. And with that, which is, since they are very broad and they really know who are their target audience, I also give them the rating of 5 because Project Tabang correctly identified the target audience. The next component is the message and design. Like their objective, which is very clear that they are helping the Bangsamoro people, the message and design also of the Project Tabang is very clear, very effective. The word it is, no Bangsamoro is left behind. Strong message, good quality message that address to every Bangsamoro people, that address to the Bangsamoro audience. And with that, because the message is very clear, is strong and effective, I'll also give them the rating of 5. Next is the other component, which is the channel selection. Since they already know or they have already the clear objective, they already know who are their target audience, they have already the strong message or quality of message. Right now, they also need to choose the right channel to spread about the Bangsamoro or about the Project Tabang project. And this one, the example of the channel selection that I'll use is the Facebook, wherein they already gained 25,000 followers. I also check with the other platform, so the other social media platforms. This also they reached the more than 20,000 followers. However, for the channel selections, since the Bangsamoro is a province or a rural area, I believe they can also use the traditional way of spreading or channel selection for the for the Project Tabang program. So for them to also to reach those people who don't have internet or the remote areas. And then with that, I think they need to improve the channel selection and I give them the rating of 4. For the other component, which is the communication participation, Project Tabang is one of the government program or project which is we see that there is a big support or the good community participation. The government is there, the local government unit is there, the private organization is there. That's why we saw how wide they already reach or how how many people or how many people they already helped of the Project Tabang, because the community participation or the involvement of volunteers and stakeholders in this project, we see it. That's there's a lot of the involvement, and the involvement of the community participation there is a combination of the government, of the stakeholders, of the volunteers. That's why it's very, my rating is 5 for the Project Tabang. Next, we go to the other component, which is the resource or resources utilization. For Project Tabang, I believe they effectively or properly use their resources because they already reached or benefited thousands of Bangsamoro in Maguindanao, Cotabato City, especially the Marawi City. The reason why there is an Project Tabang because of the what happened before in the Marawi City. Next is the Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, North Cotabato, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Which means that the resources was properly utilized because a lot of people was already benefited for this Project Tabao. However, since the Bangsamoro place is very, very big, I believe they still need to improve. They still need to reach the other areas, especially the remote areas, and to utilize more their resources to reach the areas that's not yet benefit by this Project Tabang. And with that, I give the rating of 4. The other component is the behavior change. As we saw in the news, as we saw in their own page, as we saw in their own website, that in the Project Tabang, there's a lot of behavior or improvement of the families or the affected areas. However, since like what I said in the resource utilization, the Bangsamoro is a very wide or a very big places wherein they still need to reach the other people to, or there's still a lot of people they need to help to improve the behavior of their choices or to improve the quality or to improve the life of the other stakeholders and audiences or the chosen audiences for the Project Tabang. The next component is the sustainability. Project Tabang was already happened or was already go for around 7 years. It was started like 2019. And it was continually sustained. It was continually, the program was continuous until this year, and hopefully it will sustain the program over the years because a lot of people was benefited, or a lot of Bangsamoro people was benefited by this project. That's why the sustainability of this project still need to improve. And for that, I give the rating of 4. The other component is the stakeholder coordination. Actually, this component is very important because a lot of projects failed, not because they don't have a good objective or proper or correct objective, not because they don't have resources, not because they didn't find the correct audiences or stakeholders. The only reason is that there is a poor or improper coordination. But in Project Tabang, I really see that the coordination for this project was really strong. It's very good. The collaboration of the government and the private organization and even the community itself, the local government unit, as we saw a lot of news, if you can encounter the Bangsamoro people and you talk to them, the one that they know the project, they really said that this project was properly coordinated. And with that, I give the rating of 5. The last component is the monitoring and feedback. I know that the Project Tabang was properly monitored. There is a control or internal control in managing the program or the resources or the other things for the Project Tabang. However, since you want this project to be continued to sustain over the years, these projects still need to completely improve, analyze the feedback on how they apply it to the program, because as what we know, there is no perfect program. So as the years and years happen, the Project Tabang still need to improve, continuously improve. And with that, I give the rating of 4 for monitoring and feedback. Overall, for the Project Tabang, the total score is 45/50, which I can say that the program is successful. However, it still need to be improved. For the overall performance, it was very good. Very much effective in the participation, especially the coordination, impact, and however, there's still need for improvements in sustainability, resources, utilization, monitoring, and feedback. Thank you. This is the end of my report, and I hope that you will also use the framework Smart CCBMS in other program, and they can help you to check or to improve or to make this program successful. Again, thank you very much for listening in my report.